My wife, 42, female, and I, 44, male, have been married for 19 years, with a total of 25 years together. We're blessed with 3 wonderful kids, all under 14. In 2015, she tragically lost her mother to cancer, followed by the loss of her father to cancer in 2016, which led her into a deep depression. For the next 2 years, I took on the responsibility of caring for the kids while she worked. During this time, the intimacy in our relationship dwindled, and she seemed unable to find happiness. Feeling disconnected, I turned to playing video games after the kids went to bed, as she withdrew into her struggles. After 2 years, she started to emerge from her depression, engaging more with the family and becoming physically affectionate. This positive trend continued for a year until I lost my father, sending me into my own bout of depression. Like my wife, I withdrew and immersed myself in video games, neglecting our connection. Despite continuing to express my love through words, hugs, and occasional outings, we ended up sleeping in separate rooms due to our son's medical condition, with me spending my nights in his room. Then the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic hit. With remote learning and work-from-home situations, the strain on our relationship intensified. My wife, working to reopen her business after the restrictions eased, grew distant, especially as she collaborated closely with a colleague. Despite my efforts to express love and appreciation through small gestures, she remained unresponsive. Deciding to keep our kids home for the 2020-21 school year due to our son's medical condition, I became engrossed in managing their remote learning. Unfortunately, I failed to notice the increasing distance in our relationship. The dead bedroom scenario re-emerged, and in the summer of 2021, I took on a job with Lyft for extra income. During one Lyft ride, I overheard a conversation where a passenger discussed having an affair with her affair partner, while her husband, busy with video games, remained oblivious to her infidelity. This prompted me to become more affectionate, yet the distance persisted. In an attempt to address our issues, I wrote a heartfelt letter expressing my love and the need to work on our relationship. While my wife agreed to try, her antidepressant medication suppressed her sex drive, resulting in minimal affection and communication. D-Day, on May 4th of this year, brought another layer of challenges. Despite texting her throughout the day, she claimed not to have received my messages due to poor signal in her office. I suggested using Google Chat, but her responses remained scarce. When she finally returned home, I couldn't resist checking her phone after putting the kids to sleep, a moment that marked a significant turning point in our story. On May 4th, a significant day for Star Wars fans, I decided to check my wife's texts after realizing she hadn't received my messages earlier due to poor office signal. Turning to Google Chat, where she communicated with her affair partner, I discovered she had messaged him Star Wars gifts, despite my shared enthusiasm for the franchise. To my dismay, their affair had been ongoing for almost 3 years, filled with expressions of love and longing. Devastated, I learned that the affair began when her coworker, who occasionally visited the office, started flirting during Zoom meetings. Unlike past encounters where she rejected advances, this time she reciprocated. Although he wasn't as conventionally attractive as I considered myself, she succumbed to the attention. What started with innocent lunches evolved into secret rendezvous in his hotel room, with her fabricating late work hours to cover up their liaisons. A text to her friend even revealed that the sex wasn't better, but that she craved the attention. Silently documenting everything, I chose not to confront her due to an impending surgery for which I needed her support. Post-surgery, as we planned to relocate closer to family, her assistance in finding a new home was minimal. Suspecting that the affair might have ended, I checked her phone in October, only to discover that it had concluded in June before my surgery. He grew upset that she prioritized caring for me and the kids, explaining her sudden affection and intimacy after my recovery. A recent argument resurfaced when she once again became distant, prompting me to confront her about the affair. Initially denying and accusing me of overreacting, her demeanor changed when faced with the evidence. She began crying, and I left, seeking solace at my sister's house. Returning home for Christmas to be with the kids, I informed her of my decision to file for divorce after the new year. Despite her pleas for reconciliation and marriage counseling, I intend to pursue full custody, alimony, and child support. The realization that 25 years might have been wasted hangs heavy on my heart. Story 2. I, a 27-year-old male, met my ex, whom I'll refer to as Mary, when I was 18. As my first real relationship without prior long-term dating experience, I was initially convinced we had a happy relationship. However, the last 8 months leading up to our breakup revealed significant challenges. Dating from our late teens into young adulthood, we underwent considerable personal growth, causing a shift in our relationship dynamics. I began feeling drained from the mental toll of being in a relationship with Mary. We both evolved into different individuals, and this became increasingly apparent to me in the final stages of our relationship. 8 months before our breakup, as we approached adopting a dog and completing our master's degrees, Mary's behavior began to change. Dealing with deep-rooted traumas, she leaned on me during tough times, turning our relationship into a one-sided emotional struggle. Despite advocating for therapy over 7 years, she never took the step. Mary's emotional struggles escalated, resulting in fights, screams, and neglect of our underlying issues. Expressing my feelings proved futile, and the emotional strain left me disconnected and less attracted to her. I felt like a father rather than a boyfriend, and suggesting we reconsider the dog adoption and possibly part ways was met with refusal. Mary promised change in a last-ditch effort, and I reluctantly gave her the chance to prove it, unaware that a shocking revelation awaited. We adopted the dog, and things momentarily improved before I noticed new changes in her behavior. She became secretive with her phone, sitting with the screen away from me while watching TV. Locking herself in the bedroom for me time raised concerns. Addressing her behavior resulted in gaslighting and arguments. Naively trusting her excuses, I chose to be respectful, oblivious to what my gut feeling was trying to convey. 8 months passed, and with a friend staying at my apartment, we caught up over drinks. Mary claimed exhaustion and headed to bed early. Joining her later, I found her phone casting a glow as she slept next to it. Deciding to charge it, I unintentionally stumbled upon a shocking discovery. On Snapchat, I saw unfamiliar contacts and mail bitmojis, not even on her main account. My heart sank as I entered one of the chats, revealing explicit conversations, dark desires, and compromising photos and videos involving Mary, my girlfriend. The revelation left me feeling disgusted, hurt, and completely numb. The shocking revelation persisted as I stumbled upon her profile on a kink website already open on her browser, featuring a naked picture of her in our bed for anyone on that page to see. The sense of betrayal was overpowering. The girl I had cared for and dated for 7 years seemed unrecognizable like a stranger. Maintaining composure with my friend still present at my apartment, I woke her up calmly. Her initial annoyance transformed into concern as she saw my distressed face. Asking, "What's wrong?" She faced the reality of her actions when I questioned, "Why?" Desperate to conceal the truth, she attempted to snatch the phone from my hand in panic. Inquiring about the explicit messages, she began crying and insisted, "No, I would never, I love you, it doesn't mean anything." To me, it meant everything. In an instant, my feelings for her dissolved, replaced with intense hatred and disgust. She confessed to being on the kink website for 3 months, citing a feeling of disconnection and lack of attention from me as the main cause. Despite my own pain, I had to calm her panic attack. I didn't sleep that night, neither did she. We just sat there, determined to uncover the full extent of her double life. I took matters into my own hands, creating a profile on the same kink website to delve into the world she had hidden from me. My undercover exploration revealed that she was still active on the platform and had met up with other individuals on the site while we lived together. One picture on a profile she followed depicted her with another guy. They didn't show their faces, but I could tell it was her, shattering me. The magnitude of the lies became unbearable, and I discovered she had been cheating on me even when we were living in different cities, being in a long-distance relationship. The subsequent chapters of my life unfolded against a backdrop of bitter truths. The weight of the emotional trauma prompted a 1-year hiatus from my studies as I began the process of mental healing and accepting what had happened. If you are going through something similar, know that I feel for you, and it may not seem like it will get better, but it will. The journey was arduous, but with time, I emerged on the other side with the resilience to complete my master's degree and find my way back to myself. During this healing process, a new chapter unfolded. I encountered someone new, a person whose presence cast a refreshing light on my past 7 years. The disdain I felt for my ex became more pronounced, overshadowed by the genuine connection and positivity of my current relationship. Looking back, I realized I hadn't missed my ex for a second since the last time I saw her. If anything, I wouldn't care if she had outed herself. The scars from that tumultuous relationship served as a reminder of the importance of self-worth and the necessity of embracing new beginnings, even when life feels flipped upside down. If you are experiencing something similar, like betrayal trauma, know that I feel for you, and life can only get better once you let go of the past and let your toxic ex wander off into the streets where they belong. Story 3. My name is Clark, and I've decided to share with you a story that changed my life. Claire, my wife, and I have been married for 8 years, seemingly in an unshakable happiness. I work as a software developer for an insurance company, and Claire has dedicated herself to our home and shared responsibilities. It all started when I noticed some strange changes in Claire's behavior. She started missing phone calls frequently, staying in her room in the evenings, claiming to be busy with something important. Her eyes seemed distant, as if she was somewhere far away, not in our world. My suspicions grew when, returning from work one day, I caught her off guard. She looked horrified, like a bird struck by something terrible. I tried to ask what happened, but she brushed it off, saying it was just stress from household chores. Something in her response made me wonder. I decided to find the truth and began a detective work, closely monitoring Claire. My seemingly perfect life was on the verge of unraveling. My suspicions intensified, and I decided to conduct a more detailed investigation. The next day, returning from work, I logged into the computer that was usually under her watchful eye. Her messages revealed strange conversations with an unknown number. On the screen were words that made my heart skip a beat. "We meet in secret. My love, I can't wait for our next encounter." My hands trembled as I read those lines. Who could this stranger be? I felt our happiness crumbling like a sandcastle in the tide. A mysterious world full of lies and secrets opened its doors before me. Deciding to confront Claire, I asked her about that mysterious message. Her face expressed fear and guilt, and I already knew the answer before she spoke. Claire admitted to seeing someone else, refusing to reveal their name. "I can't continue living this double life," she said, as if anticipating the end. Those words were a lightning bolt in a clear sky, tearing apart my world into two indistinguishable halves. What was and what was left behind. My life crumbled like a house of cards, and I remained amidst the ruins of my own illusions. The following weeks were like an endless sea of dark melancholy and disappointment. Every moment was filled with a pain that was hard to put into words. I threw myself into work, trying to distract from a reality that seemed useless and senseless. Claire left our home, and we decided to live separately for a while. Each evening, I sat alone in an empty apartment, reflecting on the events that led to this collapse. Slowly, I realized that despite the pain, I had to find the strength to cope with this trial. One evening, I accidentally ran into an old friend who had also been through a divorce. He shared his journey of healing and advised seeking help from professionals, therapists specializing in supporting those going through a divorce. Initially skeptical, I eventually decided to give it a try. The subsequent therapy sessions became an oasis in the ocean of pain. I learned to understand and accept my emotions, and the therapist helped me navigate through loss and move forward. Gradually, I started to rebuild myself. Self-improvement demanded time and effort, but each step brought me closer to a new phase of life. As time passed, I realized that life goes on, even after such a challenging period. I began engaging in sports, which not only helped me physically, but also emotionally. Regular runs and workouts became my way of releasing stress and thoughts. Work also became a source of inspiration. I delved into projects I had previously overlooked, expanding my professional horizons. This allowed me not only to focus on something positive, but also to broaden my social circle. At some point, I understood that despite the difficulties, I was becoming stronger. Light emerged from the shadow of betrayal, and I found myself planning my life to align with my goals and desires. With time, Claire and I started communicating more openly about our feelings. We decided to remain friends, supporting each other in our new endeavors. Our divorce became an opportunity for both of us to reevaluate ourselves and our lives. May this story be a reminder that even in the darkest moments, one can find the strength to rise and begin a new chapter in life. After some time post-divorce, life took an unexpected turn for me. I received a job offer in another city, opening up new horizons and opportunities. Deciding that this could be an excellent way to start afresh, I accepted the offer. The relocation became not just a change of residence, but a symbol of a new beginning. Here, I met people who helped me leave old wounds behind and taught me to look forward. New friends, colleagues, and acquaintances inspired me to uncover my talents and strive for new heights. During this transformative journey, I understood that despite painful experiences, I could be happy and create my own story, even if it didn't unfold exactly as I had imagined before. Through the fractures, a light of new possibilities shone, and I am ready to embrace the future with an open heart and self-assurance. As the years passed, the events of the past began to fade, and I found the strength to accept what had happened. Perhaps a pivotal moment was realizing that people are complex and changeable, and our lives can take the most unexpected turns. Over time, Claire and I found an opportunity to talk without resentment and mutual reproaches. These candid conversations helped us better understand each other, express our feelings, and ultimately forgive. Forgiveness, despite all the painful experiences, became the key to our internal healing. We both acknowledged our mistakes and tried to learn from the past. Now, occasionally meeting for lunches or just talking on the phone, we can laugh at ourselves and share a bitter smile, remembering that period of our lives. Our friendship, though changed, became more mature and profound. Life after betrayal became a guiding thread in the labyrinth of personal growth. It taught me not only to overcome painful moments, but also to build my own destiny, even if it wasn't exactly what I had envisioned before. Through the ruptures, a light of new opportunities emanates, and I am prepared to face the future with an open heart and self-confidence. Subscribe to the channel and you won't miss new stories.